Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing some comparisons. A lot of people have been asking me which particular machine sounds the best in my opinion, and I always struggle with an answer to this question because I have so many machines. I can never run meaningful comparison between all of them. There are just too many. So in most cases, I pick one machine because I like its sound and I enjoy the music. I come back home from work, I put on some music, and is it really the best machines I have? I don't know, but it sounds very, very good, and that's usually good enough for me. But at the same time, I understand the need for the answer to this question because it affects your buying decisions. There are so many tape recorders on the market, and the prices are all over the place. So naturally you would like to know what is going to give you the best bang for your buck, what's going to give you the best sound quality. I perfectly understand this question. And I am curious myself, so from time to time I may run one or two comparison and draw my conclusions. But they can be all over the place because I have very, very good machines here. So it's very difficult to make distinction between a very, very good and another very, very good recorder. On top of that, there is some audiophile in every one of us. And we're always looking for something better than what we have today. So I would say, yes, running comparisons is a very, very good idea from time to time. Now, about the choice of today's competitors. There are several criteria they had to meet. One, obviously, they had to be from the stock I have. I wouldn't be able to bring in another machine just for the test. And on top of that, I'm still recovering from my rotator cuff surgery. So least of all, I'm dreaming about rolling around heavy machines on my thick carpet with just one arm. So today we're going to be looking at pretty much the standard setup I have normally, the machines arranged in pretty much the same standard configuration, and we're going to be going around them. But at the same time, I picked the machines I consider very, very interesting and possibly, if not the best, at least very close to the best of my bunch. Like I said, there are some limitations. For example, I have beautiful Nagra with QGB winding module, but I cannot include it in a test because it's sitting outside and I would have to lift it and bring it over here, something I cannot do right now. Now, as we go through the list of contenders, I'm sure one question that will pop in your mind will be, why no Studer? Well, it's a very controversial subject and something that's possibly can start religious wars. It's not possible not to love Studer. And I do. I have 5 Studers in my collection. I have an A80, I have 807, 2 810s, and I have A820. I love Studers and I would never part with them because they do so many things so well. They operate very smoothly, they joy to operate. You see how they handle the tape and so on. But in my view, they don't deliver what I need most, which is best sound. And for this reason, I excluded the Studers from this comparison. Now, in my stable, I definitely have some recorders with which I'm not so familiar, and those naturally fell on the wayside as well. So I selected 5 participants, And they're good participants, and they also offer a very good deal of diversity in terms of their design, construction, electronics, and whatnot. One important point here: many recorders I have in my setup are normally playing through external head preamps. If you look at this machine on your screen, the left one and the right one, they both have dedicated head preamps mounted right below them in their racks. That's how I normally use them. But to make this comparison meaningful, it made sense to exclude the preamp and concentrate on the machines themselves. So this is how we're going to be listening today. We're going to be listening to the electronic circuits inside the machines, just the way most customers, most users would be using them. Of course, the gains of those machines had to be adjusted perfectly to each other, and that was done using calibration tape. Few words on choice of music for such comparison. Number one, I still believe, comparison or no comparison, the music should be interesting. You should not be sitting there waiting for it to end. You would like to be absorbed into the piece and flow with it. At the same time, you would like to have it fairly short, so people would not get tired of it. You don't want to expose people to 10-minute pieces all over again. So in this particular case, the piece will be fairly short. It's about 2 minutes long. At the same time, being short, people will remember it, and it will make it easier to draw the comparison because your short-term memory will still be working. So having introduced our contenders, let's go around the room and take a close look at each one. And the first one in the group will be Otari MTR-12. Number one, it is all stock. It has not been gone over, no recapping, no nothing. I have not seen any traces of rework to this wonderful machine. It's got interesting heads. The Otari head design is slightly different from typical, and it is what I call better butterfly. Why is it better? Because it looks like a butterfly, but it still retains wide guard band in the middle. So for this reason, I believe it is better head than the traditional butterfly. The machine has excellent tape handling, and it can handle large reels, and it has 3 speeds. Its layout is very conventional, with the capstan and tape tension. It's got very good interface and controls, and its audio circuits are based on ICs, but they still retain the trim pads for the adjustments. One note here: if you look at this equipment rack, you can see that audio circuits share the same rack with power electronics. Okay, I consider it a minor negative. But on the plus side, it also has flutter roller, which is a very, very good thing to have. The second machine in line will be Sony APR-5003. Wonderful machine, without any questions. It is also all stock. I have not seen any traces of any possible rework. Very nice small heads, but being small, you can expect some low frequency fluctuations from those heads. It has an absolutely excellent transport with some very nice features, but it retains conventional layout with a capstan. The machine has 3 speeds and 9 possible EQ configurations. This one is slightly different from Otari in the sense it uses ICs in its signal path, but it also introduces digital control. And I'm always skeptical about that particular feature. If you look at its size, it's actually very compact. So by virtue of this size, you can say that audio circuits share the same space with high power circuits. It's not ideal in that sense. But at least on the plus side, it has flatter roller. So overall, it's a wonderful machine. Not much wrong about it at all. Next in line is Ampex ATR-800. It is mostly stock, but its audio circuits have been recapped. As you probably know, this model carries the name of Ampex, but it is actually built by TIAC. I'm not sure which company contributed exactly what to this unit design, but it is a very, very good machine with a conventional layout, with a capstan, great tape tension control, 3 speeds. It's a wonderful machine. Grossly undervalued in the marketplace. It also uses integrated circuits in its audio path, but it still uses trim paths for all the adjustments. And of course, it has the flatter roller. Now we go to number 4, and that's very, very popular and universally loved crown CX-822. This one is fully refurbished. It retains original heads. It's got conventional layout to its tape path. But it's a very, very interesting machine. Its audio circuits are simple, discrete circuits, and of course they rely on trim paths. Its electronics is somewhat separated from the power module, but it has no flatter roller. And the last one in this group of 5 is Ampex ATR-102. This one is fully refurbished by Meridian Magnetics. It's got flux magnetic heads, which are typically considered to be very, very high upgrade from the traditional standard heads. And its transport architecture is unique. It has capstan, but this capstan has diameter of 2.5 inches. So overall, the mechanism is very, very advanced. The circuitry is based on integrated circuits, but there is no digital control. It's all done through trim paths. And of course, the flatter roller. So that's our array of participants today. So let's move to the next step. First of all, the tape we're going to be playing today is this one. It is an exceptionally well recorded tape, and we used it before for some other demonstration, so you might be familiar with this particular cut. Throughout this comparison, the recorder will be sitting in the same position, which is essentially the sweet spot of the system. The height is exactly the height of the tweeters, and this particular spot is best in the room. And it's not going to move to make this comparison more meaningful. It will stay in the same position throughout the test. So it will be a little bit boring, perhaps, but for the sake of accuracy, I think we should all suffer just a little bit. So with all this out of the way, let's listen to the first contender. Like I said, it's a fairly short piece, but I think it contains enough interesting material in it to make this comparison meaningful. And now on to second one. The machine number 2 is ready, so let's play. So that was Sony APR-5003. Now onto competitor number 3, Ampex ATR-800. The number 3 is ready, so let's play it. So that was our Ampex ATR-800. And now we're going to listen to Crown CX-822. That was Crown CX CX-822. So easy to like because it does so many things so well. And the last contender is ATR-102. So that's our today comparison. Please let me know if you find it useful in any way. I think I certainly heard substantial differences. I'm not going to tell you which one I prefer and why, because I have been busy. I was busy handling machines, turning them on and off, moving tape and so on. So my attention was not quite there. But I will listen again to this particular recording, and perhaps we could discuss the differences later on in our communications. So thank you again for stopping by. I certainly appreciate you visiting my channel. And let me know if you have any questions, or perhaps you would like to compare one particular machine to another one, and I might be able to arrange that. Who knows? Perhaps I could even try the stock Studer against the machine that you prefer today. That might be interesting too. But don't ask me to bring in my A820 because it is right now in my office and it weighs just about 1 ton. That's not gonna happen. Thank you very much again. Stay well.